It is so great catching up with the Motown phenom, Kevin Lee. We're hopefully going to see him back in action here soon. But Kevin, how you been, man? How's everything?
I'm good. I'm good, man. It's been a hell of a journey, but it's good to talk to you again. It's been a minute.
It has. It has. First and foremost, man, how's the knee? Obviously, tough injury in the last fight, even though you got the win.
Yeah.
How's the recovery on that going?
Yeah, the knee is fine. The knee is smooth. I'm just at the end of the recovery process, so I've been dying to fight for the last couple months now.
Mhm.
It bothered me for a few months, but I'm back to full training, sparring, doing what I need to do. So the knee is all good.
Were you worried at the time that maybe it was like a career ender? I know it wasn't that as serious as you initially thought.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say I think anybody who's been through these type of significant injuries, you do have those days where you're like, "Fuck, man, is it gonna be over? Is it gonna be done?" But uh, I've been I'm a vet now at this, so like I've been through the process of it, and as long as I'm never gonna give up,
Mhm.
and as slowly as the days go on, I start getting my strength back. I start moving again. I start feeling better. And now I barely even think about the knee. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. And I know as soon as I get into a real fight camp and I really start preparing for a fight, I'm not going to think about it at all. So it's just one of those things. I look to all the greats that have been through significant knee injuries and even worse. There's guys who've been through back and neck injuries, and they come back and they are perfectly fine. So my body's still real young. I'm still good to do this. So if I was 40, then I would probably be thinking those same things. But at 30, nah, it's only momentary lapses.
And you didn't need surgery, right? It was just rehab, or did you end up getting surgery?
No, no surgery, no surgery. It
Good.
was
Okay.
just extensive rehab.
That's great. And so you're mentioning you're on the tail end of recovery. Like, I guess, are you at the point now where you could take a fight, or do you still need a bit more time?
No, I could take a fight, man. I've been trying to take a fight for the last, 6, 7 weeks, and
Mhm.
I guess I got to start using Instagram and this Twitter and all this bullshit. I've been kind of steering clear of it and seeing if I can make it happen without it. I remember
Yeah.
the days when you could make shit happen without having to resort to these things. But I guess I need to start getting the public back on my side and get a fight going, because these fighters are. I'm being honest with you. I'm being disappointed by a lot of these MMA fighters.
Yeah.
Outside of the UFC, I'm the one with the most experience from between any 55 or 70 pounders. There's nobody out here that's fought as many world champions as me.
Mhm.
I would have expected that more guys would have been calling me out and begging for the fight and asking to fight somebody like me. But uh, outside of one Russian guy who asked for it, who I accepted, there ain't been nobody saying nothing. So that's the crazy part to me. I'm a little disappointed in these guys.
Yeah, and you mentioned not being on social media much. When you do tweet, man, it is absolute gold. And there's some stuff I definitely wanted to ask you about that you said over the last little bit. The first thing was, I know you did tweet Eagle FC in September asking for an opponent. You mentioned there that someone had
Yeah,
accepted. Which fighter was that that they were sort of working on a fight for you?
I honestly can't remember his name.
Okay,
Um, yeah, I can't remember his
no
name,
worries.
but he's got from like Kazakhstan or one of those stands, the
Mhm.
Kurdistan.
Mhm.
He's a stand. So I'm willing to fight whoever kind of raises their hand and say that they want to fight.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I've been asking for an opponent for months now, and there haven't been much communication between me and my partners over there.
You tweeted about Nate Diaz, and of course, at the time, Nate was still with the UFC. He said, I could always fight Nate Diaz if he leaves the UFC. Well, he has left the UFC. Has there been any talks
Yeah.
about maybe a fight in Eagle FC with you and Nate?
Yeah, that's been on the roster. I don't know if it's gonna be with Eagle,
Mhm.
but yeah, we've had some talks between Nate's people, so
Interesting.
that's something definitely to keep in mind for the next couple months, or however he's gonna do. I think he's playing around with boxing. I'm not to the point where I'm looking to box just yet.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. With your contract with Eagle FC, are you able to take other opportunities, like you just mentioned there with Nate, or do you have to fight for them? You have to fight your contract out.
It was an exclusive agreement, but it's getting to the point where I might step outside of it. I don't know. I
Mhm.
honestly, that's not really for me to answer. That's going to be more on my management to answer, and I'm going through a change of management right now too. So that's going to be more questions down the line.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll ask about just gonna ask about the management thing a little bit later. I did see that you tweeted Khabib Nurmagomedov. I know that tweet is deleted. I think it was something pay related. Did that get sorted out?
Me and Khabib need to talk.
Okay.
Me and Khabib need to talk. We need to have a conversation. We need to really sit down as men and talk. I do feel like he still he maybe hold a grudge, or maybe he's got something going on against me, or I think he's coming off the big win with Islam.
Mhm.
That was a huge win, and I'm never one to make anything about me. So I'm giving them the time and space that they need to kind of celebrate it, go on to the next one. They got a big fight coming up to see if he's going to be pound for pound number one, all that good shit. So um, I'm not a team player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll need to have a talk, but it'll come in due time.
Is that the reason that you think there hasn't been much talk about Eagle FC's next event is because they were focusing on Islam's fight? Because that's sort of what I assumed. Have you got that indication as well?
Yeah, again, that's an assumption.
Yeah.
Even on that part, I'm on the outside looking in.
Mhm.
So I don't try and tell people how to do their business. I do feel like it could be run a lot smoother. I feel like there could be more done, but at this point, I'm just a fighter, so I'm just looking to fight,
Yeah.
and how we handle the promotion and all that, I'm gonna leave that up to them.
You mentioned it there, Islam Makahchev defeating Charles Oliveira. Just your thoughts on his performance, getting it done and winning the lightweight title.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great fight. That was a great fight. I think they set that fight up perfectly. I think having Charles go to the Middle East to do that fight was a genius move. And I feel like he exceeded all expectations. He did way better in the grappling than I expected. He looked a whole lot stronger out there. And Charles looked off, and he looked upset at the result.
Were you expecting that result coming in? Did you think Islam was going to defeat him?
That was one of the fights where I really didn't predict it, and I really didn't put any prediction into my head because I knew that fight could go either way. Those guys are both very, very skilled, and their styles just match up real good. So I knew whoever was going to win the grappling was going to win the fight. Um, but yeah, I didn't expect I didn't expect either one of them to win, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's interesting. And do you think he will beat Volkanovski? Obviously, a lot of people are feeling like Islam's going to have a size and strength advantage in that fight. That's happening at UFC 284. Would you pick Islam, or do you think Volka has the edge in that one?
Yeah, I think Islam has the edge in that. I'm gonna go with everybody else on that and say that. Yeah, I think he'll have the edge not only in the size and in the strength, but in his technique too. On the ground. I don't think Alex has really been tested like that, and tested like Islam will test him.
Also, we had a big event last weekend, UFC 281. Alex Periera is your new middleweight champion. What did you think of his win over Israel Adesanya?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the ones that I got wrong. I thought Adesanya, or maybe it was just my heart was going with Adesanya. I really kind of wanted him to win. My heart goes out for him. It kind of was like one of those heartbreaking losses, especially when I feel like he was winning the fight. I think everybody kind of feels like the fight was going great, and to have that happen at the end is just it's a little heartbreaking. I mean, but Alex is a big ass dude, and it shows that these weight classes are for a reason. These we need to they gotta get these weight classes under control, because I mean he's a huge 185 pounder.
Yeah.
I mean huge. So yeah, I feel like there's weight classes for a reason, and he did a great job maximizing his advantage.
Do you think Israel will win the rematch? It looks like that's what they're headed towards is them having a rematch next year.
I like that they'll have a rematch. Um, I don't know. I don't never like picking a fighter to win an immediate rematch, especially if there's a TKO or knockout loss. So, I mean, my heart would still be with Izzy, but it's hard for me to see it going any other way, especially if it's very fast. If they make that happen in February or January, I don't see it being enough recovery time. I think he needs time to recover and kind of get his wits back before they make that fight happen, because he can beat him.
Mhm.
Clearly, he can beat him, and I think they will fight again. But it's just a matter of time and place and when and where you'll do it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And then, of course, the other big fight, your old weight class, 155, Dustin Poirier getting it done over Michael Chandler. What did you think of Poirier's performance?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. I think Chandler is a fucking warrior. I think Chandler went out there and he did exactly what he wanted to accomplish. You know, he wanted to entertain. I don't even think he was too worried about the win of the fight. You know, I think he wanted to entertain, and I think he did exactly that. I mean, the dude is a warrior. I take my hat off to him every time that I see him. He's especially after a performance like that. Like, how could you not? You know, he went out there and went out on his shield. Yeah, I mean, Dustin's fought a lot of top guys. I think he deserves a crack at the 155 title if they're gonna do that again.
What did you make of there was some gouging in the fight? I don't know if you saw Chandler looked like he put his hand in Poirier's mouth or something. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I don't look too down on that. You know, this is fighting. It is what it is. Is hey, if it would have won, you wouldn't have said nothing. You know, so it is what it is. You know, guys do fouls all the time. You know, if the ref don't see it, it didn't happen to me. So I don't pay too much attention to it, to be honest with you.
Speaking of paying attention, I saw a couple of your tweets. I wanted to ask you about them because I think they're very interesting. There was one you said, this was, I believe, after the fight with Khamzat Chimaev and Kevin Holland. You said Khamzat Chimaev is overrated as F. His jiu-jitsu is mid. Yeah. His he's aggressive, but what else? Do you still stand by that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think Chimaev is he's hyped. You know, he's hyped. But it ain't been nothing that's been impressive to me. You know, like I mean, he's aggressive. We've seen the aggression, but I don't see anything to be overly worried about or you know, to really be impressed with. To be honest with you, like he's good.
Yeah,
he might beat some guys, but he ain't that.
Okay. What did you make of that whole situation with him missing weight and then them switching up the fights?
Yeah, I don't know. That's strange. It was strange. I mean, I don't. It had all the makings of a conspiracy type of deal going on, you know, and especially with the way the UFC is going these days, it was too strange not to pay attention to that type of stuff, you know. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of strings that get pulled behind the scenes, you know, of having these doctors come in and monitor your weight cut and telling you what to do and telling you what to say, and where it's not directly like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to set it up like this and we're going to talk to Chimaev, but they definitely have ways of swinging things in that direction. So yeah, that's all I say about that. It was strange. So let's just say that.
Yeah, I don't believe in conspiracy theories either. I just did find it interesting that he steps on the scale like it was nothing. Like, you know, when someone's struggling to make weight, you see them shaking or whatever. There was none of that, and it just seemed a little bit odd that way. Do you think he fights at 170 again, though? I mean, at first it seemed like, no, there's no chance he'll go up to 85. But then Dana's talking about a fight with him and Colby. What do you think? Do you think he fights at welterweight again?
I think if he was smart, he would just go to 85, you know? I think we're starting to see these weight cuts are just, they're getting too drastic, you know? It's getting to be where it's really hurting the guy's performance. And obviously he benefited from not having to do that massive weight cut in his last fight. You know, he still had an extra 10 pounds that he would have had to cut. And if I'm hearing correctly, the doctors actually stopped him from continuing to cut. So there's no telling how much more depleted he'll be. So I think he should just go to 85. You know, he stands a better chance against the kickboxers anyway, versus fighting somebody like Colby or fighting Usman or some of these guys who would give him a tougher match at welterweight. Yeah, I think he should just go to 85, bro. Like it'll just make sense for everybody. You know, some of these bigger 55 pounders can go up. What's going on with 165, I'm not really sure. There's not a title on the line. There hasn't been a title. I think that's one of the biggest things me and Khabib need to talk about. I don't think you can have a legitimate weight class if there's no title. You know, like what are we fighting for? You know, the whole point of Chimaev fighting is to fight for a title at some point. And I think he stands a better chance of that at 185 versus 170. And just to tie it back to me, like the whole point of me fighting at 65 is for a fucking title. If there's no title in the world, then you know, there's no point in it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And just last thing on Chimaev, I think one of the things people talked about in the fight with Izzy and Pereira was that, there was no like takedowns, there was no ground game there. Chimaev is a guy that can try and take you to the ground. How much of an intriguing matchup would that be down the line with Chimaev and Pereira if they were to ever fight? Do you see that as something interesting?
Yeah, it would be. I would want Pereira to get more experience in MMA. He doesn't have a whole lot of MMA fights. I know he's got a lot of kickboxing fights, but it takes somebody with a lot of experience to beat somebody like Chimaev. You have to be able to be calm and be calm under pressure, because he's gonna come out there. He's gonna put a ton of pressure on you. I think Pereira does have the size and the skill to beat him, obviously, but I don't necessarily know if he's got the experience in MMA yet. I know he's comfortable out there with Adesanya because he knows Adesanya real well, and obviously there's nothing to worry about. But against a new, fresh blood like Chimaev, he has to do more yet before I'm able to just say he's going to steamroll him.
Another name that's getting a lot of attention, Bo Nickal. He hasn't even had a UFC fight yet, but there's a lot of expectations for him. What do you make of Bo Nickal and the run he's gone on so far?
I don't make nothing of him. I ain't pay no attention to him. Some of these guys are just hype, I get it, but you don't have no experience. You ain't done nothing yet. You ain't fought nobody. And a couple people in the gym have asked me about him too, and I haven't seen one fight of him yet. And I don't really think there's much to see just yet. I mean, he's a low level guy, and he's one of these guys that these contender series guys that I don't even know if they can really fight yet. They ain't fought nobody, so it's hard to really have an opinion on somebody that shouldn't even really be talked about. I mean, I know, I get it. The media, y'all gotta play up to it. You gotta go with the clicks. You have to, but as far as like real fighters, he hasn't done that much yet for me to pay any attention to him.
Okay, well, as someone who is a member of the media, I do just want to mention one thing. Like, obviously, he comes from a great wrestling background, right? You've seen the wrestlers that have come into MMA, Cejudo and Cormier and all these guys. So he's got that, and it's also the way he's winning. Like, he's finishing these opponents very quickly. Again, he doesn't have a single UFC fight yet, but I think that's why there's some hype there, because we haven't really seen this in a while. A guy other than maybe Chimaev come in and really get quick wins like this, right?
Sure. I guess he's just a product of not much going on in MMA right now. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of prospects that you can really look to. And like I said, that's why I'm a little disappointed in a lot of these MMA guys. Like, there ain't been nobody really with some fire to them, it ain't even been enough to wake me up just yet, So I think he's a product of that. But and compared to like my early days of coming up, I just don't see it. I don't know. I don't know that much about him. So I honestly don't see it. But you're right. There is a lack of new prospects, and there's nobody really with that. Even at 155, which it used to be like the biggest division in the world, there's not somebody with like that fire, you know what I'm saying? Like that you want to like watch. There, who?
Yeah, well, there's a few up and coming guys. Like the guy you train with or is at your gym. I know Rafael Fiziev's pretty interesting. He got a big win over Rafael dos Anjos. You've got Arman Saryukin as well, who is a young guy that's also on his way up. But I know what you mean, like guys that are getting like first round finishes. It's hard to do, I guess, but also like you're not seeing a ton of that. So yeah, I see.
I don't just mean the finishes. I mean like the personality, like
I see. So the total package.
And I guess I am a little more biased towards Americans because that's what I understand. You know what I mean? It's like some of the foreign is still foreign to me. So I'm a bias towards Americans, and I don't know. I don't know.
Fair enough. I do recommend you watch a Bo Nickal fight. I'd be curious to get your thoughts after seeing a couple of his fights, just to kind of get an opinion on that.
Maybe if he fought Kevin Holland, if he fights Kevin Holland, then I'll go back and I'll watch his fights. But before then, nah.
But Holland's at welterweight now, unfortunately, so it'd have to be a middleweight, right?
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, if he fought somebody at middleweight that I actually respect, then then maybe I'll go back and watch some fights. Have him fight Chris Curtis or something, you know?
Okay, there you go. A lot of respect to Curtis. Okay, something you kind of alluded to earlier, and I was going to ask you about. So you mentioned transition through management. I don't know how much you're allowed to talk about that, but I know Markel Martin, who you've been with for a long time, he's basically left CAA, and I believe he's still managing Nagano. So what is the latest with you as far as management in terms of what you're allowed to talk about?
Yeah, like you said it perfect. I'm not really allowed to I won't say any names or say any companies that I'm going with, but yeah, we've it's kind of been a team decision to leave CAA. It was getting a little too Hollywood, and yeah, it just didn't benefit my career that much to be with CAA. I've been with them since the Tony Ferguson fight, and then since then, yeah, I've got some big opportunities, but I feel like my career could have been handled a lot better. So I'm looking forward to being managed better and by people with more experience.
Has anything been signed yet, or are you still negotiating?
No, nothing signed yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we in the final talks though. We in the final talks.
Okay.
I should know something in the next few days. So I'm back on social media now. I'm back on Instagram, so I'll post something.
Okay, and I would imagine this is a familiar management group with MMA. Again, that's pretty general, so I don't think we're giving away any secrets here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's somebody who's managed a lot of big name fighters still to this day. So yeah, it won't be a surprise. Let's just say that.
Do you think Jon Jones ever returns to fighting? I know Dana's talked about him coming back, but it just seems like it's taking so long for him to get a fight. If you were a betting man, do you think that that Jon returns and fights again?
Yeah. I think for sure he'll fight again. I don't think it'll be the same Jon.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. It's too long of a, and even for me, like this, I haven't fought 9 months, and it feels like fucking forever. It feels like an eternity. So I don't know how long has it been since Jon fought. 2 years, 3 years,
The Dominic Reyes fight was his
maybe
last
3
fight.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think he'll ever be the same again. I know he'll fight, but his body's been through so many changes, and it won't be the same Jon Jones, even if it's Jon Jones, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mentioned betting there for a second. What do you make of the UFC telling fighters they cannot bet anymore on their fights?
Is that after that whole weird fight happened the other day? Where
No, it was before that actually. Yeah, it was before that actually. Yeah. So.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think they can stop it. I mean, what can they do to? What can they do to stop it? I mean, if you're the one that's going down to the casino and putting your money there, you're an idiot anyway. It's I don't think that they can stop it. I think that's probably something that they legally had to say. It's kind of like one of those disclaimers, don't come into this MMA gym if you don't want your nose busted. But more than likely, you're gonna get your nose busted anyway. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, actually, a guy that I don't know if you ever trained with him, Justin James did that in the UFC. He put his entire fight purse on his fight, and he ended up losing.
Yeah. Justin's a man. Yeah, Justin's crazy. Yeah. So I don't think you can stop guys. I mean, they probably won't. They shouldn't come out and tell you that they're fucking betting on their own fight. Like that's crazy. That's dumb. I mean, I guess it gives you a little bit of media clout. A little bit. It gives something to talk about. So it makes a fight a little bit more exciting. But yeah, you shouldn't tell nobody. Like it's fucking dumb.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I don't know. I'm not a legal expert though, so no. I probably shouldn't even said that much.
Yeah, no, I agree. Taking a sharp turn here. I don't know how much you knew him or got to even work with him or talk to him, but obviously terrible news with Anthony Rumble Johnson passing away. What was, if any interactions that you had with him that you can remember?
The only one that really sticks out to me is we went to the ESPYs together. I think this was 2018 or 17. My first time at like a red carpet, big event like that, and yeah, he just was cool. He just was cool as fuck. Yeah, it's been real heavy around Florida. He basically is one of the guys that started Kill Cliff before it was Kill Cliff, back when it was Black Zillions.
Yeah.
So it's been heavy, and yeah,
it's a bummer.
Yeah, it's hard for me to. Yeah, it's hard for me to even really to speak on it because I didn't know him that well,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not one of these guys that'll
Make it
speak
about
on
them.
someone I didn't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Speaking of Killcliff, who are you getting to work with over there? It's been I forget how long has it been that you've been at that camp? I know you made the move. What was it, last year? I think, right?
Yeah, it's been about a year since January. And now I feel like I'm really kind of finding my groove and finding my home with things. Just being down here in Florida in general, I'm starting to finally feel at home and come out my shell a little bit.
Who are you getting to work with over there as far as bodies in the gym? Because you're sort of an in-betweener.
Yeah, Impa is one of the big ones.
Nice.
And Impa should fight more. He's a fucking beast. Delano as well, Postman. He's fighting next week for the $1 million in the PFL tournament. He's fighting Sadabusi. Working with him is he's a beast. So and he's a young guy too. I think only 25.
Yeah.
Gonna win his first $1 million next week. So it's guys like that kind of give me and keep me in check too. When you're kind of the name that comes to the gym, everybody kind of wants to have it out for you. And guys like that keep me in check for sure.
Back to you and sort of your next fight. Is there an ideal time to come back, or is it just whenever you can get a fight, you would want to take that fight?
Honestly, whenever. January sounds great. I'm expecting a son pretty soon. I've been keeping that under wraps a lot.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. So we're gonna get a fight soon. So hopefully January. I'll say hopefully January, but I don't know. I don't know how these negotiations are working. But yeah, January would be nice.
When's the due date for the baby? Like ballpark? No, don't worry about it.
I talk too much. It's gonna be soon. Very soon.
Okay, very soon.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask because I'm a December birthday. That's why I was asking. So.
Got you. Yeah, stay tuned to my Instagram. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Stay tuned. I'll for sure. I'll let it know.
Give us some update there. And then opponents, you mentioned the one Russian name who we can't remember, but is there any other names? One name I was going to throw out there, Eddie Alvarez. Is that a fight that would interest you? Because he's a free agent now.
Yeah, I've thrown Eddie Alvarez out there. That fight definitely interests me. I think Bobby Green is also a free agent now too. I think. I don't know. I asked him. I went on his Instagram and said like, hey, let's fight. Let's do something. I don't know if he's still signed with the UFC or what's going on.
He had that thing with some supplement he took from Walmart or something. I don't know. I believe he's still with the roster though, unless I think it was like a mistake that they took him out, but I'm not 100% sure.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
All right. So, okay. I thought maybe he was a free agent. But if not, the other name we were throwing around was Mike Perry. Mike Perry still. We supposed to have been fighting for the last 3-4 years now. It feels like so. If we can ever finally make that one happen, it's a few fights out there. But like I said, I'm kind of disappointed that more guys aren't kind of calling for me. If I was a young guy that was like 24, 25, I only had a few fights and nobody really knew my name. Man, Kevin Lee would have been the one I'm calling for every other weekend. I want that fight, and it seems like nobody's really asking for it. I don't know if that's because they know what's gonna happen, but hey, try your luck. What the fuck you get into a sport for if you're not gonna try?
Speaking of trying, I'm not going to try and do an impression of you, but I'm going to read this tweet you had here. You said, I'm going to be honest. I stopped commenting on shit because of this whole cancel culture thing. People bringing up old stuff. I'd be saying wild shit sometimes. I don't even believe most of what I tweet. You mentioned being more active now. I'm sure that's in the back of your head though, because I agree with you. A lot of people are, sort of hawks and trying to find stuff to get you in trouble, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you never know next week what people are gonna think, and they can go back and always say like, oh look, you used to say shit like this, you used to do this, you used to do that. And it's why I took a step back from a lot of it, because you don't see, and I saw a lot of people getting in trouble for shit that they used to say in the past. And I'm somebody, I say some wild shit. I say crazy shit all the time. I say more than I should say. But I'm never gonna like really backtrack on what I say. Like, I'm a man, I'm gonna stand up on it. And it seemed like it's getting you into more trouble than it's worth. A lot of it seemed like it's more trouble than it's worth. So that's kind of why I took a step back. Is, well, why am I doing it? Unless you can give me a real legit good reason, I'm not gonna fucking do it. So yeah.
What do you think of Elon Musk buying Twitter?
Yeah, that's been a shit show so far, huh? It's been a
It has, I
fucking
know.
shit show. I was totally with it at first. I was totally with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's what we need. It'll feel like it'll give us new life. It'll give me a reason to get back on. But so far it's been a shit show. I don't think he knows what the fuck he doing or
The verification thing, they got to figure that out, because now you're getting people just paying for Twitter Blue and they can pretend to. I know they're trying to stop the parody thing, but still, anyone can get verification now. It kind of loses its luster, right?
Yeah, and I'm down here in Florida, and it's a whole lot of scammers here. There's a whole lot of scammers. This is scammer central. And when I talk with people, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. I'm about to do scam this, and that." You making it easy. You're making it easy for people. It's the whole point of the verification thing is the fact that you know who it is.
Yeah.
So to pay for it, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. I don't understand it.
Bitcoin. I know crypto's been taking a bit of a hit lately. Are you still a believer? What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I'm a believer, but I'm hurting. I'm hurting for it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I'm a believer still. I think it'll still be the future and be the wave, but not right now. And I tell that to don't motherfucking don't do it. Not right now. Not right now. It's not. It's been a hell of a year for us crypto bros. This shit hurts.
Yeah.
This shit fucking hurts.
And last question, I know you mentioned you wanted to fight in January. I guess not going home for the holidays in Michigan. Do you ever plan on going back at all and visiting the family?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. At some point, there's still so much that I need to do and accomplish, and obviously I still run other businesses and got homes and stuff. So yeah, yeah. At some point, I'll physically make my presence there for sure.
How's Keith doing, by the way, your brother?
He's doing great. You know, he just had another daughter, so yeah, the family's doing great. So he's running it up. He's running it up on TikTok. He's loving it. He's loving what he's doing. So yeah, he's starting to be one of the biggest stars
I saw that. Yeah,
in the world of TikTok. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Cool. You getting any parenting tips from him at all?
Yeah, for sure. If, you know, yeah, you got to keep it in the family. Got to know some stuff, and yeah, he'll be out here pretty soon too. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing him again since I left Vegas.
Is he visiting, or is he going to actually move out to Florida?
No, he's gonna visit.
Okay,
I would love it if he would, but you know, we'll see how that goes.
Kevin, we went way over time, man. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, sponsors, social media, you name it, I'll give you the last word.
One love. Yeah, just follow me on Instagram at Motown Phenom. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm gonna leave it.